Now we're recording. Hold on. Hey, Brandy.
Hey. Welcome to The Scoop, Weddings Unveiled. With your hosts, Tim Schaus of TLS Entertainment and Brandy Harlan, a local wedding planner, bringing you tips, tricks, and ideas to help plan your wedding day. This is The Scoop,
All right, here we go.
Weddings Unveiled.
Welcome back to another episode of The Scoop Weddings Unveiled. I am Tim Schaus, your premier wedding DJ with TLS Entertainment.
Did you forget what kind of DJ you were?
Yes, I'm just a DJ. I call myself a premier DJ because
You are.
I feel like I am.
You are.
And then, of course, joined by our non-retired wedding planner, who was, you kind of did some things this weekend, Brandy Harlan.
I keep proving you more right.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
Non-retired.
Right. Non-retired.
Once again, non-retired because you did events this weekend.
And
And
it
we
just
did.
happens, though. Like, it's because I just can't let stuff fall apart. It's a problem.
It's what, you're a perfectionist in that world.
Yeah. Couples appreciate it, but man, I'm paying for it today. Hence, brought to you by Red Bull today.
Red Bull. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but man, it's keeping me going.
But I will say, I would imagine that a lot of wedding professionals probably need some sort of energy drink
yeah,
on wedding days or event days, whatever event
Yeah.
event professional is doing.
Yeah, mine's a mix of Red Bull and Liquid IV.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to be on the Celsius kick.
Yeah, you were. Now you're
And then,
on
I was
Stanley
on
water
Bang.
kick.
Oh, man, I was on Bang for a
He was
hard.
like,
I was banging it out for
Bang.
quite some time. And then, I
Still
realized,
is.
no,
Still is.
well,
Just not in the can kind.
anyway.
Told you, I'm in rare form today. Just keep going.
So, but then I was drinking Celsius, and then I was like, you know what? I need to stop drinking these things.
Yeah.
Because they're not good for you at all. And no joke, because every single day, after I would have lunch, I would be craving a Bang, or I'd be craving a Celsius. I'm like, this is not good.
Not good.
I need to get away from this. So I cold turkey. I was like, I'm not gonna drink any more of this anymore.
Cold turkey.
Cold turkey, and I did.
So what's in your Stanley?
Water.
So
Water.
yesterday I had a Red Bull for the first time in, gosh, I don't know how long. And I was bigger on Red Bull. And then I don't really drink energy drinks, though. I'm in desperate need kind of thing.
Okay.
So one yesterday and one today.
All right.
And you all are about to find out why.
Yes. And before we do that, all right. So
Yeah, let's.
we're gonna. I was going to ask you what you did this weekend, but we are going to talk about all of that here in a
Yeah.
second. So I will kind of explain what TLS had in store this past weekend. We're going to skip over Friday because we're going to talk about that because you and I were together.
Yes.
But Saturday we had 6 events and weddings. We had 2 proms and 3 weddings, and a block party.
Oh, dang.
The
block
DeSoto parade.
Oh, you guys did the DeSoto Parade block party?
Mhm.
I missed the parade this year.
Yep. I honestly had no idea that there was a parade.
It's every year.
Never knew
for
about
like
it.
the last 50 billion years.
Never knew about it. And I got an
My-
inquiry for it, and I was like, what the hell is this? And they're
One of
like,
my closest friends was the captain of the ship this year. So,
I've
this
never
past
heard of it.
weekend
Never heard of it.
was like his official end date because he starts on the parade night a year ago, and then travels around the whole United States in the ship. The kids and I rode in the ship on the island for St. Patty's Day. So that was fun. Like, we were waiting out there, and he was like, all right, when we go by, just hop on. So they stopped the boat. Me and the boys got on, and we got to throw beads.
Yeah.
I love that ship and the crew.
I've
Really
never
awesome.
heard of it's the DeSoto parade, correct?
Yes,
What
and
is it?
it's the
I've
DeSoto
never.
crew.
I've lived.
Okay,
I lived in
so-
Sarasota pretty much my entire life.
Let me preface with it's not a person I would normally celebrate, but it's a fun event.
Okay.
And I don't do it to celebrate the person because the person we're celebrating is Hernando DeSoto, who came to our area. He raped, pillaged, and stole everything and
Okay.
made it his own.
Well, that's just went south
I
quickly.
know. So that's, and I'm just telling you the history of Hernando DeSoto. That is one of the reasons why the bishop is not called. It used to be called the South Florida Museum, and the courtyard used to be the DeSoto Courtyard. and
Yes.
he was on a statue and a horse in the middle of the fountain. So that was taken down as reparage to just cleansing the space of those types of feelings, because the more we know, the more we learn, and the better we do. But it's a hell of a parade and party. So it's a whole bunch of ships, like on wheels, and they're usually like on, I forget what kind. I mean, they're on like different kind of base, like truck bases, and they're ships. So they come from all over. It's the biggest parade. Like, I think one of the very top parades of the whole United States for DeSoto Cruise, or for the ships, the privateers and the pirate ships that come through. It's up there. I think it's bigger than the boat parade and the parade that they do in Tampa.
Okay.
Like, it's just a whole bunch of bead throwing and hanging out and kids. And they literally start blocking off spots and putting up chairs and caution tape the Monday or Sunday before the parade.
And you're saying it's bigger than Gasparilla?
Oh, yeah, it is.
What?
It is.
No way.
I can call him right now.
You can call one person. He's going to say yes.
Well, he's in charge of the whole thing.
It doesn't matter.
I'm
no.
going to text him.
I will say no. Okay, well, text him. But
I'll
I will.
text him.
No. Many people know about Gasparilla.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think if you ask somebody, we go around
We're going to find out.
this studio that we are in, and if you ask people, what's the DeSoto Parade? Have you heard of it? Probably not.
Well, you don't go to Bradenton for a reason.
Yeah, I don't go to Tampa often, but I know about Gasparilla.
Okay, I just asked him. So we're going to find out the statistics. It's a pretty major parade.
70% of the statistics are made up anyway, so.
Statistically speaking.
Which I just made that up, so.
Exactly.
Anywho, so anyway, we had
who did you do the block party for? Where was it at?
it was a construction
Company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because usually the businesses along Manatee Avenue,
Yes.
they will block off their whole area, invite their staff, because then they have a place to park. And then you watch the parade. My aunt lives one block off, and now my cousin owns the house. So we always go to his house, park, walk up to the parade, do our thing, go back to his house and party for hours.
Nice.
But I haven't done that in a couple years because I'm always at a wedding.
So yeah, we had the DeSoto Parade. So one of my new guys, Sam, he's fairly new to the team.
I've never heard of him.
Nope,
That's awesome.
DJ, yeah, Sam the Bull. He's actually fairly he was in the military before, and he's
Hence the bull part,
I
maybe?
guess, yeah, but cool guy.
Nice.
Yeah, and so he did. We're doing like sporadic events to start for now, but so yeah, he did this block party. DJ Mike was at a wedding at Davis Stables, right? Davis Stable, something like that.
Oh,
David?
Davis Stable.
You're not paying attention. It's fine.
I'm telling you more about the parade.
Okay, let's go back to you.
No, I'm telling you. I'm educating you. It used to be bigger than Gasparilla, but not this time. They shortened it by a mile this year. So they changed
Oh, you're
the
talking
parade
about
route.
like actual length.
Yes.
Oh, I'm talking about like the amount of people.
Oh, no, I was talking about like the length and the amount of boats and stuff in the parade. The bigger, like the actual, not people.
Yeah,
There's more people in Tampa.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah.
Well, you're like, oh no, it's a much bigger parade than Gasparilla. So okay,
Parade-wise, yes. There's more
As
boats. There's
okay.
more, yeah. It's longer. Yeah, it's like 4 hours.
okay,
But people, no.
and
195 boats and spots came through.
okay,
That's pretty huge.
cool. Anywho,
Shout out to DJ Sam.
Sam
Sam
yeah.
the Bull.
Sam the Bull. DJ Mike was at Davis Stable or I forget.
Where is that?
In Parrish.
Is that new?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I've never been. So he was out there. Let's see here. That was Mike. DJ Jason was at Moat Marine. He had a wedding there.
Prom.
DJ Terry and his wife, they did DJ and photo booth. They were at Art Ovation.
Oh.
Now, let me just tell you, this is a really weird weekend for events. And
Yeah,
a lot of
in so many
crazy
ways.
things, a lot of interesting things happened.
It was a full moon, too.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
But Terry's prom, so he did prom for St. Stephen's.
And where it was at Art
That was
Ovation?
at Art Ovation,
That's
and then
so strange that they went all the way to Sarasota.
yeah, and then I myself and DJ Keza, or Natasha, we were both at Michael's on East for Cardinal Mooney High School's prom.
Okay.
Now, Terry sends me a photo, and actually here, let me just read you.
I had to like zoom in, and all I could see was like, oh.
What?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, just a little backstory. It's not much of a backstory, but the prom's going. Everything's going well, and I get a text message from Terry saying with a photo of a stretcher, and it says this kid fell and looks like he broke his leg or ankle. Medics are here, and they had him cut the music.
And all you saw was like a leg and a foot down below on the ground.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
I zoomed in because I was like, okay, it's a
Oh,
stretcher.
yeah.
But yeah, the kid, like they have ice over the ankle or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
But
look
all
at
you
that.
see is like the leg down. You don't see like the actual kid.
Yeah, you see the stretcher, and then you just see people like
People
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy hell, I hope it's not a senior.
Well, I mean, just in general, like
I
that
hope,
sucks.
I mean, it sucks, period.
Yeah.
But wow, what a
And
way to
let me
end
actually
your
talk to you
prom.
about this. I have a question. So when
Yeah.
you were in high school,
Uh-huh.
did you guys for prom? Did you guys do sit down dinners at the prom?
No, you ate beforehand.
Yeah. Okay. So weird. So
And we had to figure it out. Like my date, a shout out to Kyle, for prom. He's one of my closest gay friends now. I love him.
did
But
you know he was gay then?
he knew, but we didn't really know.
Oh, okay.
Super sweet guy. He actually came to visit a few months ago.
Cool.
So we went all it was our thing. Like we went to this one place called Berardi's, and we would do like a pasta dinner, and it was like your fancy dinner out, and everybody went there. That's just kind of where everybody went. But I was in a very small town too. So I don't know if it's because we're in a bigger town that they do. Did they do a sit down?
So St. Stephen's is sit down dinner,
So
and they had 150 students.
So Ashton, my oldest, when he graduated, they had from Southeast High School.
Yep.
They had a sit down dinner.
They did.
But they went to here's the thing. They didn't want to eat the food that was there. So they did go to dinner before. And then when they got there, they just had like nibbled on things because they didn't really think that the food was going to be very good.
So I'm just curious. Yeah. So St. Stephen's did a sit down dinner with everybody. So it was like
At Michael's on East.
at
Art Ovation.
Art Ovation. 150 students. Cardinal Mooney also did a sit down dinner at Michael's on East.
Well, that's how they make their money. Art Ovation and Michael's, they're not just going to rent you a room.
Why not?
Because they make money. They make hand over fist money on the food side.
Okay, yeah, but you could also just do hors d'oeuvres and apps and so forth. Anyway,
Maybe.
it just didn't. I was not privy to this.
Did you have a sit down dinner?
No, I went to Booker High School locally here, and the other thing, Cardinal Mooney had about 300 students
For prom?
for prom. Now,
That's how many were in my graduating, like my whole entire high school.
so 300 students at prom. And Michael's on East is a decent sized ballroom. Art Ovation is much bigger. But it was packed at Michael's on East. So honestly, I felt like they should have switched venues.
Yeah,
They would've
that
been-
doesn't make 300 people in that
And then
ballroom
and then
is
100
a lot.
and 150 over at Art Ovation. So
Yeah.
it felt small. Like the venue felt even bigger just
Yeah.
because there wasn't as
I
many.
can't believe that's a lot in that. I don't think Michael's on East space is that big.
Right,
It
and
doesn't
then-
feel that big.
And then the previous weekend we had Palmetto High School at the Bradenton Convention Center. But they
went all out.
it was
Like I've never seen the convention center look so good because it's literally like basketball floor. It feels like a basketball court kind of floor with all the bleachers pushed up to the sides of the walls, rafters for days.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job.
And they
then,
transformed it really nicely.
and they allowed us to have, our bigger setups and really kind of do our thing with it. We had lighting on the whole thing. But they didn't have a sit down dinner. They did have hors d'oeuvres and like heavy appetizers to pick from.
Might be a Sarasota thing.
Well, I don't know. No, because St. Stephen's
St.
is in.
Stephen, but I don't know. St. Stephen's is a very expensive private school.
And Cardinal Mooney is a private school
Exactly. So that could
But
be.
you said that Southeast had a sit down.
Southeast is very
Is public though.
Yeah, very public.
And it's
but
Bradenton.
I think, but they had their prom at I think IMG.
So I guess it
So
really
on a
just
smaller
depends.
scale.
Yeah, it probably just depends on the actual venue.
And it also depends on how much money they've raised throughout the year as a school because if they can afford to do something like
well,
that.
we have Riverview High School's prom this upcoming weekend.
Okay, I'll be interested to know.
The Hyatt.
Oh, they'll probably have sit down.
So
dinner.
they'll probably have sit down. Yeah. So I guess it really just depends on the venue.
Yeah. People, let us know. What
The
are
other
your kids
thing,
doing?
the other thing I didn't realize. So at Cardinal Mooney's prom, and they didn't do this at Palmetto High Schools. At Cardinal Mooney's, we're Natasha's DJing. Doing great.
Yeah.
The floor's packed. Everybody's just like packed like sardines because it was so. The dance floor was so small, and I felt when we were setting up, I was like, this is not going to work. But it's whatever.
Where you fit in.
So then one of the administrators comes up to us and had made some of the announcements, and he said, "All right, this is gonna be our last song of the night." And I'm like, "Okay, do you want us to announce it?" He said, "No, do not announce it. We do not want them to know that this is the last dance or the last song of the night." I said, "Why?"
They don't riot.
And he said, "Well, once I tell them that this is the last song, they're all going to book it to the door." I'm like, "Well, what?" He's like, "Yeah, we actually keep them here until 10 o'clock. They can't leave." And
what time was the last song?
9:50. So but the whole entire event was only from 7 to 10. So they had dinner at 7, like a cocktail hour from like 7 to 7, or drink hour.
Yeah.
Mingling
Juice box hour.
Yeah, mingling hour from like 7 to 7:30. Then they had dinner for like 30 to 45 minutes, and then an hour and a half for dancing.
That's it.
Yeah, but nobody could leave. You can't leave.
Oh, once you're in, you're in.
You're in.
Yeah, I have heard that before.
And I was like, oh. And so when
some of these kids are 18 years old being told they can't leave.
No joke. The minute we played the last song, and we just have some like background music, and of course he gets on there. He's like, "All right, y'all, thank you." I forget what he said. Congrats on your 2024 prom.
Yeah.
Make smart decisions. You are all released, and they literally all went running to the doors out of there.
Wonder what those after parties were like.
Well, I was talking to one of the cops. She happened to see this table passing around a bottle of water. And
that's straight vodka.
So she was just watching it, and literally was right in front of her. Or maybe it was.
We're not dumb people,
right? And so she would see some of the kids like no thank you, I don't want any, no thank you, and then she saw or heard one of the girls say to somebody else, "That's vodka." And so of course she was like, all right. So she goes up, takes the bottle, and then one of the guys or girls was like, "What are you gonna do with it?" And she just looks at her, and then walks away. Like, what do you mean? I'm an officer.
That we're just gonna stand here and drink it. That reminds me. Remember the time I had LECOM's their graduate doctor program prom at the Bishop?
No, I was not there for that.
I thought I told you about it. So it was alcohol free because they couldn't pay for the alcohol because they had to pay for their whole prom themselves. So they had two options. Either they had the school pay for it, and they would have to pay like a part. I don't know. There were some stipulations. Basically, the school paid for it, and they were in charge of all the decisions, and they could have alcohol, or they paid for it and organized it, and they made all the decisions, but they couldn't have alcohol. So they went with the we can't have alcohol option, so they could do whatever they wanted to, wherever they wanted to. They, designed all of it. And these are like college kids at this point. They're like graduating to become dentists and things at like 24, 25 years old. All of a sudden, I walk into the banquet room, and there's a guy in a corner with his jacket open like this, and like the girls are pulling bottles out like inventory. Like, nope, I don't want that one. Nope, I don't like that one. So I joined in. I joined in with the group, and I'm like, oh, I'll take that one. Oh, can I have this one? Oh, that one.
Was he selling it, or was he just?
He was just passing them out, and then all of a sudden, I had all of them, and I was like. So I'll be going ahead and taking these. Thank you very much. And if I found any more alcohol, I confiscated. It was quite funny. They're like, you can't. I go, but I can. And I did. They like literally, like he opened up his jacket towards me, like, which one do you want? I've got this and this and this. And I'm like, really, dude? So I guess I look 25. I don't know.
That's brutal.
I mean, I shut them down a few times, but that was like the third time that I had tried to like, no alcohol. You didn't pull insurance for it or anything of the sort. And I had 2 officers. So at that point, the officers just would follow me around and we would just start taking alcohol. Like we found so many like mini airplane bottles. It was crazy. But yeah, choose wisely, kids.
Yeah. So prom
Be
season.
smarter.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah. Prom season is coming to an end.
Or just don't.
So yeah, that was our weekend. We had 2
Crazy
proms, 3
busy.
weddings, and the DeSoto parade. But
So thrilled about the DeSoto parade.
but Friday,
Friday.
Saturday, Sunday. Well, you and I worked together Friday,
Yes,
and we did a wedding.
we did.
And do you want to tell us a little bit about like the backstory, like the
Yeah.
cultures of the 2 that were coming together?
Couple, yeah. So shout out to Luz, Luz, and
Koshik.
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 Is Indian
Mhm.
and like South Asian Indian, and then Luz is Colombian,
Mm-hmm.
and so 2
From Bogota,
totally
I believe.
different countries. Neither of their parents understood each other's languages. It was quite
Or English.
fun, or English. It was quite fun to watch the translation between, and it was really endearing to see the moms very, very, very like close knit. They've been together 7 years. They met in Chicago, and they just were like. You couldn't tell there was any language barriers between any of them. They were all very, very close knit family and group. So they were at the Retreat Sarasota this weekend. They booked in January for an April wedding. So very quick turnaround and lots of moving parts. So they rented Friday. We did a Catholic ceremony and reception at our meditation pond in the gathering place for reception.
And the meditation pond is
out-
a golf cart.
It's a golf
ride
cart
away.
ride back.
It's
yeah.
the Retreat Sarasota is a very big property.
Yes, 85 acres total.
Oh,
So that's our
okay.
back 40, maybe our back 60.
40 acres.
Yes.
Acres. Now, listen, this is very important information.
It is.
This backstory, all
Yes.
very important information
Yeah.
to what we're about to tell you.
So all the guests are golf carted back by a professional golf carting company to the pond and back to reception, which is, I would say, the gathering place is in the middle of our property, and then the meditation pond is, like I said, the back 40 acres or so.
It's a good like 10-minute walk if you were to walk it yourself, maybe 10, 15
Yeah, 10,
minutes.
15. So we did that on Friday, and then on Saturday we had their Mendi ceremony, I do believe it's called, where they do the henna and they do the turmeric paste. It's a paste, and they use it to paint. So basically, it's the groomsmen in American world. It would be like the groomsmen and the bridesmaids would be there, the parents on both sides, and anybody that's super close friend or family. They all come. So it was like 30 of them. And they came and they had a whole setup on our front porch by our retreat center. And they take turns painting on the face and on the feet. And that's like a blessing, and they pray over them. That's that ceremony. And that was a brunch.
Okay.
So that was from like 9 to 2:30. 8:30 to 2:30 because she had makeup and stuff first. And then on Sunday, which was yesterday, we did the Hindu ceremony, which included a Bharat processional, which is where the groom comes in. In Indian culture, from what I found out yesterday, this was a very short Bharat. It was maybe an hour for him to, like, our driveway is about a mile long. So he came up about halfway.
I'd say a half mile, but okay.
Or half mile long. So he came up in a car, and then we proceeded all the way down the driveway, down towards the pavilion, which is by our pond that's on the upper half. So our upper 40 acres. By the entrance, we have another pond. And so we had the ceremony over there. So he rode by car. So it took an hour from him to go about a half a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile, because they dance, they play live music. We're led by a DJ. There's
How are you led by a DJ?
The DJ puts his equipment in a truck. There's a driver, and the DJ sits in the back of the truck playing the music, and he is the person that is in charge of the pace. So it's like a pace.
The
car.
driver is.
The driver is, and the
Now
DJ.
how's the DJ?
Well, because the DJ plays the music, but he tells them when to stop. He tells the driver, okay, stop. Like, they keep stopping along the way. That is the whole idea. You go a little bit, and then you stop, and everybody dances for like 10, 15 minutes, and then you go
How
a little
many people
further.
were there for this?
I would say less than 50, like maybe 40.
And they all just travel with
Yes,
this vehicle.
except for her and her mother, or her and her bridesmaid. They wait. So she literally was ready and waiting for over an hour for all the Bharat processional to happen. In India, they either ride on a horse or an elephant, of course.
Why is that? Of course.
I mean, because people know, like, you ride.
didn't
I mean,
know.
you've seen it. You've seen Indian
I
weddings, but
wouldn't.
they do ride in on elephants or horses. However, it takes about 4 hours because people get so drunk along the way that traffic just stops and they just stand in the road and dance for 30, 40, 5 minutes. And then they proceed. Like, it's literally like Mardi Gras mix. Like, it's just like that. It's partying, it's drinking, it's parading, it's dancing, however long it takes. That's how long the bride has to wait.
Now, it wasn't a truck. It was I thought I saw like a Mustang.
He was in a Mustang, and the DJ was in a truck leading.
Oh, so the DJ was in front of them.
Yes, in front, leading, and he was
Okay.
in his red Mustang
Yep.
on the back, like a parade person would be, like waving, and people were handing him drinks, and he got out and started dancing quite a bit, and then got back in the car. They sent off color cannons, except the color cannon that was supposed to be shot was shot like directly at him, and it should have been like up in the air. So his whole left side had green dots on it in a very, very, very high-end, expensive Indian suit.
It was white.
It was white, and so it was like on his face. So before he got to the aisle, we're like having to take baby wipes and get like green stuff off of his lashes, his beard, his face, so he was at least presentable. And then, he had all that. But by the end, he was covered in pink and green and blue and red and orange and all kinds of things anyway. Because they shot
It
off
looked
four
like his
air
mom
cannons.
was having a blast too.
His mom was having a lot of fun. The bride's mom had even more fun because she'd never seen her daughter. Lucy's like, I've never seen my mom drunk, and she's so drunk.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I was like, good for mom. Like, and dad was loving it. Like,
Yeah.
it was, they had to bring a car up to pick her up. We had to like help her into the
Nice.
car. So it was, I mean, she doesn't drink. So obviously she didn't have very many, but it didn't take very many either. So, but she was having a lot of fun. So that's like the scope. And then yesterday started, makeup started at 8:30. She was ready at like 1:30 finally. And then we had to escort her down, and we left around 8 o'clock last night.
Okay.
And we had authentic like Indian food. And what's really cool about that ceremony, because we're going to talk about the other one shortly, but you get up, you go to the bar, you go to get food, you go get appetizers while the ceremony is taking place.
Oh, okay.
So it's very fluid, but also very traditional in all the things that they do. It's very intentional. I sat there watching a lot of it in tears because I had no idea what he was saying, but you could just feel like the love and the intention and the prayers and the blessing. Like you could just, because each family member had a little part in it. Like his dad sat there for the whole first half of the ceremony with Kushik, and it was an exchange basically. And so when she got up there, I don't know what you call the person doing the ceremony said, "Okay, Father, your job is done." And he comes down off the stage, and she comes up on the stage. And then Kushik sat in the seat where the father was sitting, and then she sat in the seat where Kushik was. So everything was just very intentional, and they tied like scars together, and they were knotted, and so they kept them over their shoulders the whole entire rest of the time. They shared the same dinner plate, same fork when they did eat. So everything was just like, we're united. And everywhere they went, they walked together the rest of the night when the ceremony was done, with the shawls over them, and they were knotted, and they had like something in the knot was tied up, like part of the blessings, and then there was a little fire, and it was just really, really amazing, really to watch. So very intentional, very sweet.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all the good stuff. It's all good stuff.
It's
but
all good stuff.
Yeah, so we can talk about Friday now.
All right, so Friday, we're just going to get right into it. We almost
But
died.
stop it. Let's preface with the Retreat Sarasota is a very safe venue. It is. Like, I've been there for over a year. This is not anything that's ever happened before. It's a new person in our area. It's
All right,
fine
so
now.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
So let's
is
also
safe.
let's also preface that it is out east.
Yes.
If you're familiar with Sarasota,
Yeah.
and the roads, it's out east on Fruitville. So it's
Yes,
out in
east of Lorraine.
it's like close to out like near Mayaca area.
Yes.
Not
I can get to Mayaca in 15, 20 minutes.
but it's
from
like
there.
in between Sarasota and Mayaca. But
Yeah.
it's a good 20-minute drive from the interstate of I-75 east to the Retreat Sarasota. So
Yes.
Knowing that, there's lots of land, huge properties.
Everybody has land.
Everybody has
Tons.
acreage.
Animals, like
yeah.
farms.
Horses,
Yeah.
all the things.
We have our own horses and donkeys.
Yes, you
and
do.
chickens.
And so we are setting up, and it's not now. Let me also preface this that it's not uncommon to hear, off in the distance, people shooting their guns.
Yeah, target practice.
Yeah, all those sort of things.
It's very familiar to us. Working there, I hear it regularly.
And I'm obviously not out east often, but when I hear, I'm like, oh, okay, that's fair.
Target practice.
So we go out there, or we set up the reception area, the ballroom. That's all set up. You take me out to kind of check out on the ceremony area. And I had already been out there to set up the ceremony. Chairs were out there around the pond.
About 20 guests were out there, I think.
20 guests were about out there. We had checked, making sure the music's on. We're getting ready. We're about, I want to say, 10 minutes
5-10
from
minutes before ceremony start at 4:15.
Yeah, the ceremony was supposed to start at 4:15. So we did a quick check out there. Guests were out there. And so we're like,
on
okay.
the golf cart.
On the golf cart.
On the
We're heading, on the work golf cart. I guess it's important. Then we're like, all right, let's go back. You were about to, or the hired golf cart crew
was taking a different route.
Well, they were taking guests to the ceremony from the reception area where the parking lot is to the ceremony. On our way back to the reception area to the ballroom.
And there are 3 routes, just so people understand.
Okay.
There's one route in to drop off, a route out, and then we were on the upper 3rd route by the cow pasture. That matters because that's how
Sure. Okay. Well, it's all relative.
we all run into each other.
They all run
at the
into
end.
each other. Ultimately, nobody who has never been to your venue will and I've been
still
there, and I'm like,
confused.
whatever. I'm very familiar with the property now.
Very.
So we are now leaving the ceremony area, and we're heading back towards the reception. And at this point, like I said earlier, when I was setting up, I did hear gunshots. Like, all right, like just target practice. However, they were loud.
Yeah, they
And
felt closer.
They were.
Than they
It felt
usually.
like pretty close. And no joke, I literally was thinking, where did these bullets go?
Well, what's also funny is Jonathan earlier in the day.
Jonathan Pajak
from Lens Culture.
Culture Photo Film was photo that day.
Yeah. He said, do people, and I was like, yeah, people shoot out here all the time. And it was before the target practice had even started. I was like, yeah, I said our neighbors do target practice. He goes, you guys are really out here. I was like, yeah, it's not a big deal. Like, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And this was hours before it actually started happening.
So we're driving back, and at this point I thought, like, wow, like, where do these bullets go? Like, what happens? Like, does this happen? And on our way back, no shit, we see
About
a
5 feet.
stray bullet come right in front of our golf cart, and then hear 2 or 3 others go
Yes.
right by our ears.
So the first one hits the dirt in front of us, like 5 feet, not even.
Yeah, within 5 feet.
And it ricochets to the left. So we're driving. I'm on the left. And I'm driving. He's in the passenger seat, Tim is. And it hits, and it ricochets left of us and goes sideways. So then
It was parallel to us.
Yeah, so it came at us, hit the dirt, and then went off to the side. So me driving, thinking, holy shit, we've got to get out of the way.
Because there's more.
Because there's more.
And because it was, I mean, the guy that was shooting target practice, it was just pop,
Right
pop,
after each
pop,
other. Yeah,
pop,
yeah.
pop. Like, he was just going. Like, he was shooting
There
at
was
the target.
breaks in between because that's probably when he was reloading.
Yeah, probably.
But it was a lot of shots at
But
once.
there were a few. There was the one that we saw hit the road in front of us, or the dirt road in front of us, and then we heard 2 others go by us, 3 others go by us, and that immediately you turn.
I turned the golf cart
to the right.
To the
And you were trying to hit the brake, and I'm sure to, like, turn around and go another
Well, I
way.
was just trying to get out of the way because they were coming straight at us from what I felt. So, and we're sitting on top of, we happen to be on top of, like, the bridge. And the bridge has, like, a concrete tunnel, so the water flows through. And you know how you have, like, a little concrete above the circular part?
Sure, yeah.
Like a little overhang. Yeah, like a little bridge. So I whipped the golf cart to the right, and we hit the concrete wall because I hit the gas instead of the brake because I was like, holy shit, we just need to get out of the way. And so that
We crashed the golf cart.
We throw it. Yeah, the golf cart comes up off the back 2 wheels. Tim gets thrown out the right side. The seat comes flying up. I fall down, bust my knee.
Well, and then I pulled you out.
Yeah, you were pulling me out of the golf cart.
So we can
on
take
the
cover.
Ground, literally.
Because we're still hearing the pop, pop,
Ping,
pop, pop,
ping,
pop.
shing, like going past our ears.
This dude had a horrible shot.
He was horrible.
Because apparently, well, at that point,
so we just laid there for a while.
Yeah, and
then the other golf cart guy came up, and we were like, "Get down!"
Yeah,
he
from
jumped
the
out of
golf cart
his,
crew, yeah.
got down on the ground. So then we're just laying there for I don't know how long.
We were sitting there for quite some time waiting, and then we got up, and all of a sudden,
'Cause it stopped.
It stopped. We got up. His nickname was Zulu, from the golf cart crew.
Oh yeah, was it Zulu?
Zulu is his nickname.
Oh, okay.
Bachi or something.
Bashi, yeah.
Bashi was his
But
actual
as
name.
soon as we stood up, they started going off again.
Well, yeah, and then Then the guy started shooting his gun again.
And we had to drop again.
We had to drop because again we just had multiple shots fired near us.
Oh god.
Scariest thing I've ever really been a part of.
Dude, and we've been a part of some scary stuff together.
I mean, well, yeah, but in general,
this.
outside of weddings,
Just
like this
in
is
life.
that was scary. And the crazier thing is the guy who was shooting
Well, and
the
then
gun.
we still have guests sitting over there.
Oh yeah, the guests.
We don't know where the bullets are going in vicinity to them. So then we're like, okay, let's run for it.
No, and we didn't. So you end up calling the staff at this at
my campus superintendent.
Yeah, and then they're like, just call. So you end up calling 911.
Yes.
I got in touch with some of the guests via text. I was like, we need to get everybody on the back side of that ceremony, as far
go
back
up
towards the cow pastures. And they're like, why? And I'm like, just go. Like, just go.
Yeah.
Just gather everybody, because there's about 20 guests there.
Yeah.
Just gather everybody and just go as far back as possible. The gunshots finally stop.
And that's when we took off running.
Well, we didn't even run, but
I ran.
yeah, well,
I don't know what you were doing behind me, but I took off running towards the guests. I was out of there.
So we're walking back because that's what we were doing.
I know I ran. I lost my shoe heel and everything.
I don't know. So we go back, and so at that point, it had been a few minutes, and you finally
like 20.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Overall, the ceremony was delayed about an hour.
Yes.
Because of everything. Because the cops ended up showing up. We had an officer come over to the location where the golf cart was crashed, and where we were basically being shot at unknowingly. And ultimately what happened was the cops did find the person who was shooting. It was a neighbor.
Yeah, he's a new neighbor. He's renting out one of the houses on the street.
And he had a target up.
Yes. And he had a small berm, but berms are not by law. You don't have to have one. There's a lot of laws in Florida that just don't happen. We don't have them. So he had no clue, because from his side of the road, he lives on the road south of us, it just looks like a ton of woods. He had no idea that it even opened up to property, that we were over there, that we existed, how close we were.
As far as the venue.
As far as he could tell, he didn't even know we were there.
Yeah.
He just thought
it was just
there's
woods.
tons of woods behind, and thick woods at that. Like, not just like your sparse. No, very thick woods. He had no idea we even existed over there.
Yeah.
No idea there was a pond.
But that just goes to show.
He couldn't even hear your music.
Oh, no?
No.
See, and after the fact, I was like, damn, I should have tried to run over to my speaker, grab the mic, and just please stop shooting.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been
probably scared everybody a little more, though.
Well, again, after the fact.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
we only did what we could do in the moment. And that we had it was a lot of close calls between bullets and hitting the concrete wall, because had we not hit the concrete wall, we would have been down in the gorge.
It was 10 feet down.
10 feet down underneath the golf cart.
Yeah.
We would have been majorly injured.
We would not be on this podcast right now.
No. We'd be sharing hospital rooms, broken bones and arms. But
we survived.
I will say that if I had to be shot at with anybody else, thank God it was Tim, because he protected me too. He yanked me down, and I was a literal mess.
Yeah.
I was not well at all. And it's everybody's like, well, you shouldn't be. I'm like, but at the same time, I pride myself on being that duck and being calm under pressure. And even when people have had heart attacks or choked and passed out or whatever else in just life and in weddings, I've always been like cool, calm, collected. And Tim's witnessed that a few times when people have like passed out from heat exhaustion or whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I give direction and I do what I do. It was odd for me. So that just lets you know how terrifying it actually was that I was shaking. I didn't stop shaking for another 45 minutes. And then when we went down, because the officer came back, everybody was, okay, go ahead and bring everybody back to the wedding. The guy's been told. I went down to see the officer to get like the final report. And I talked to my executive director and she just looked at me. She goes, "Are you okay?" And she hugged me and I just lost it. I went to pieces and I was like, okay, it's out of my system. I got a wedding to go. I got to go. Got a wedding to do.
Nobody asked me if I was okay.
I did.
Well, you did.
I kept checking on you because I couldn't find you. I was like, where are you?
Well,
are you okay?
Well, yeah, I'm running
and
the ceremony.
Yeah. And then I was like, but it was after ceremony. I was like, everybody was back and I'm like, where's Tim? Did he need a moment? I need to hug him. Where'd he go? And then you were in your car at one point. And I was like, okay, he's in his car. Let me go say, hey, are you okay? Yes, I'm good. Okay. But I was checking on you.
I appreciate you.
We got to get bullet tattoos now.
Yeah.
Tim doesn't have a tattoo of one.
I don't.
This should be your first one.
So that was, I've had guns at weddings before when I introduced.
We don't know if they were loaded.
No, they were.
Oh, they were loaded.
Yeah, remember that was at Rafter J Ranch. All the groomsmen came in with loaded guns, just waving them in the air.
AK-15 or whatever they
something
were.
like that. And they were loaded, and so were the guns.
Oh, God.
Yeah, not a good mixture.
They didn't shoot nobody.
Thankfully, God, they didn't go off.
Y'all, we're just like, we're very thankful because honestly, even when we were sitting there staring at ceremony, Tim's like, okay, we can go now. I'm like, but I just want to sit and take it all in. And I keep thinking about all the little things that delayed us from being further down that like road. Because
I see what you mean. Before the ceremony started,
we took a little longer, and this was before like the shooting. Where he was like, "All right, well, we can go back," and I was like, "But it looks so nice and calm. I just want to take it all in."
Yeah,
and that was like 10-second difference.
True, because if we had been a little bit further up, it
would have shot right into the golf cart.
Yeah,
into both of us.
Somebody would have gotten shot.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Just so you know, our venue is safe.
It is safe.
Yes. The guy knows. We're actually inviting him over for a barbecue. We're inviting some of our neighbors over.
Just be like, hey, just so you know, there's a venue here.
This is what we do. And here's the thing. We have, kids that live on our property that also walk our spaces and are out, exploring and things like that. So it's safe for them. Their parents are, work and live there. And so it is a safe venue. We are going to have a barbecue of sorts with our neighbors just to kind of say, hey, we're going to be having a lot more events and weddings and things. Let's all be familiar with who we are, what we do, and that we work for trauma survivors. Gunshots going off while we're having a retreat for trauma survivors could be extremely triggering. I mean, I'm triggered every time. I had to drive over there yesterday to go help pick up the arch and stuff from Friday with Palacios. And I had a little like quiver about me. Like it was like, okay, I feel uneasy, but I know he's not shooting. He's not going to. He knows not to shoot until we have our meeting and that we exist. So that was our weekend. And then I went on to like gouge out, a whole entire section of my hand on a glass that I broke, busted my knee, chased donkeys every morning because they kept getting out. It was a weekend. We
were almost a headline. Like a Florida wedding DJ and planner
shot by bullets. Yes. We were almost that story. I'm glad everybody was safe. Like everybody was good. And the couple to know. No, we did not tell the couple.
Until after.
So Kushik kept calling me because it was running later and later and later.
Yeah.
So the story I gave him first was we're getting in touch with the neighbor so they can stop their target practice so that we don't have that going off during your ceremony.
Like the noise.
And I told the same thing to Luce. And then Kushik was like, Brandy, what's really going on? And so I had to tell him, but I said, don't tell her. And he was like, okay. And he even told me, it was either yesterday or Saturday. He was like, he goes, I was really scared when you told me that, but he goes, but you were so calm when you told me. And I'm like, I was not calm. I was calm for you.
Yeah.
I was not calm inside. He said, but I knew everything was fine and I knew you were handling it. And then after ceremony, later on, Luce was like, what was the delay? Because it was an hour.
Yeah, it was an hour delay.
It was an hour delay. And so I finally told her, and she's like, oh my gosh, are you sure? Like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. He had no idea. It was just, one of those freak things. And she goes, okay, I'm glad you didn't tell me before ceremony. Because they would have probably been up there like terrified.
Yeah.
But yeah, so planners, sometimes you got to lie to your clients to keep them safe. And we lied to all the guests for quite some time.
Less is more.
Yeah, we were like, oh, we're just standing in the shade until our neighbor is done, and we let them know that we're trying to start a ceremony. Just come up here and stay and hang out.
I told everybody.
But everybody, so some of the people I know from Fly Dance Fitness, so Stacy and Carrie and a few other friends were there from Fly Dance Fitness, and that's how I know Luce, because of Fly Dance. And so we work out together, and so they saw me just like shaking. And I was getting like the side eye from one of them. I was like, okay, let me just go explain what's going on. Because I was legit a mess. But it was a great weekend. They got married twice and we all survived. Tim, what are we going to do?
We're going to keep on keeping on.
And we're here to have another podcast another day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thankful you were there.
Now I have a question. This is way off topic.
Okay.
I mean, on the topic of weddings.
Okay.
And how do I want to preface this?
After we tell us a harrowing story about how we almost died.
If one knows, should somebody tell somebody that a previous person that they dated is going to be at a wedding?
Shut up! You are not doing this right now.
This is in general. I feel like if
it's fine.
It is fine. But who knows?
If you have people in common and you know that there's a possibility that you have somebody in common, or here's the thing. Vendors, study your couples, find out who they are, go on their Instagram and figure out what they do and who they're about, because then you might know that they know some other people that you might know.
Yeah.
I do that. I don't stalk them. I do look up my couples because I want to learn more about them and what they look like, because most of the time I just hear from them via email and phone. I do a tour with them too, but there are times where I'm like, oh, I wonder, like, let me look them up. Like, who are they? What are they about?
Well, I felt like I didn't need to look anybody up because you and I were working on this together.
But
and
I didn't tell the other person either. Like, it totally went over my head.
I don't know how.
I
don't know how.
Y'all.
I don't know how. But
y'all.
I truly feel. Now, what do you think? Do you think, like, let's say a wedding vendor is doing a wedding, and you happen to know that a guest.
Feels.
No, I'm not. I'm curious. I feel like you should know.
You should know, and your friend should tell you. However, you should give them grace if it's just like it doesn't. I could have swore I said something about her being a fly dance person. But I guess we'll have to go back through other podcasts and see if y'all, because I've been talking about this wedding for months.
And not one time.
And it did not dawn on me. It didn't.
It would have dawned on me immediately if you said that. But here's the thing.
It would be weird if I told the other person and not this other person, if I only told one party, but I didn't tell either party because I didn't remember. And it didn't. I have so much going on, y'all. I'm going on vacation as of Wednesday. Going away for a whole week. Y'all need to pretend I don't exist. I gotta go heal from this trauma of Tim being mad at me
and being shot at. There's a lot of things that happened. So this past weekend, X is at the same wedding. X is at the same wedding. Almost got shot. Some kid broke his ankle or leg at a prom.
I probably should have got stitches.
Really? For what?
Yeah, I took a whole gouge out of my thumb with a broken glass. It's fine. I had to chase donkeys every morning, like literally chase donkeys. I have a video of me getting drugged by donkeys. Like they took off running, and I still had the rope. I still have the video. I'll give it to you.
Oh, please
I have the rope in my hand,
Wait,
and Winnie starts running away from me, dragging me in a circle, like I'm running in a freaking circle, trying to keep up with her because if I let go of the rope, I'm not going to catch her again. Oh my gosh! And then the other two just had to keep following. Here. It's that video. I'm carrying food, hauling a donkey.
Wait, well, let's hear it again. Ready? There it is. Wait, hold on. Let's try it one more time. Ready? Oh my God. Send this to me, please. Wait, one more time. God.
Oh my God. Oh, jeez. I mean, a lot of things happened this weekend. Good thing I live on property when we have multiple events in one weekend. I did get a little bit of sleep, and I was able to get up early and chase donkeys at 7:30 in the morning because our mini donkeys are very mischievous. Did you get it? I just sent it.
Boss babe.
Yes, that's me. They're supposed to be all cute and nice, and they are, except they like to break out. So I did put horses back this weekend and the donkeys, along with our campus superintendent, Mark. Thank God he was there. He was a huge help. So shout out to Mark for all of his help this weekend and making sure that, you know, because he was right on top of it. As soon as I got a hold of him and told him that we were being shot at, he was in his truck, literally driving the fence line where the shots are coming from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was.
Like, he was like right there on top of it. So I am very thankful for where I work, the people that I get to work with, and how much we take good care of each other. So
amen.
Thank you, Jesus, for your protection. Because
and with that, the wedding season will be coming to an end.
And we're out. Wait, you still have a lot to do in May, don't you?
No, we've got like sporadic.
I don't have any weddings until October. I have nonprofit retreats.
Yeah, we have. So this upcoming.
July.
So this weekend is technically, I guess it's the first weekend of May.
Cinco de Mayo.
We have Riverview High School's prom. I also have a bar mitzvah.
I have a bar mitzvah in September.
In September.
And then I have a retreat, corporate retreat in July. So I'm really kind of gonna get to breathe for a couple of months.
That's nice, yeah.
A little.
So yeah, wedding season is coming to an end, and it's been a slower
here in Florida. Yeah.
Slower like May this year, I want to say.
Your DMV area is going to start picking up though.
It's so
like
tough
July,
up
August,
there.
September.
Yeah, I mean it ideally yes, but
because I go home for me, if you didn't know, guys, is Toledo. So I fly into Detroit on Wednesday.
IO.
I fly into Detroit on...
Go Blue.
No.
Sucker.
No, Michigan. I fly in to Detroit on Wednesday, and the weather is... The highest it's going to be for the whole entire week I'm there is 73. Lows 40.
Nice.
So perfect wedding weather in the north.
Yeah, we don't have... let's see here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7. So we've got seven events in May, and only one of those is a wedding.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got birthday parties, we've got prom, we've got bar mitzvah, we've got an employee summit.
That is crazy.
But no, so I'm yeah.
So we're gonna spend some time hanging out.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Like, where are you gonna go?
Oh, we've got 1, 2, 3, we've got like 5 weddings in June, but they're all sporadic. But
so that means we get to hang out and do like non-wedding stuff now.
Yeah.
We get to vacation. Yeah. Lots of vacations.
But I want to hear what some of our other wedding professionals, some of y'all's crazy stories are. So if we're going to post this clip. We want to know what's crazy wedding stories, or what crazy wedding stories do you have for us? What have you seen in a wedding, whether you were a guest whether you were a vendor, whether you were the bride or the
couple,
groom or the
yeah.
couple. What
is it?
what kind of
Have you
crazy
ever been shot at?
have you ever been shot at?
That's the name of our podcast this week.
No, I think the podcast should be This Is Not a Drill. We almost died.
We dodged a bullet.
We dodged a bullet, literally.
Literally.
3 or 4.
And it's fine to laugh about it now, but my God, in the midst of it, y'all. Yeah. It was very serious.
Anything else? Is that it?
I think that's it.
That's it.
Still love you.
It's good to be loved.
Even if,
No, I'm
even if I forgot to tell you.
Love you, mean it. No hard feelings for anybody.
No. I'm still going to be back on the podcast, y'all.
Yeah. Next week, just be like, welcome back. It's just me, Tim Schaus,
Your premier DJ.
your premier wedding DJ.
Solo dolo.
We do not have anybody on the other end of this podcast any longer. I fired her.
From friendship of 10 years.
Yeah. That's the next thing.
Yes, that is the next big thing. August
9th.
9th. It's a Friday.
It would be
sorry.
August 10th would have been great.
Oh, yeah, 10th. Yeah.
I don't know.
10-year anniversary. It's our anniversary.
I have a very special. I haven't shown it to you yet, have I?
You showed me pictures.
I showed you pictures. I've got a special outfit.
I'm not excited at all.
Special outfit. Do you have an outfit?
I gotta go. We gotta figure that out.
We.
Yes. You gotta be like, okay, here's what you should. I'll send you some pictures. We'll figure something out.
Okay.
Okay. It's gonna be so much fun. We're gonna party like it's like it's 2010. 2014.
2014.
Like it's 2014.
No, because then it'll be super country. That's how it started.
Very much so.
You're just gonna be line dancing the whole
You
party.
have evolved.
Yeah.
You've like
It
prim and
is
proper.
But it is a 90s versus 2000s themed party.
Yes. Now I gotta figure out. I think I'm gonna lean more on my 90s side because I'm
Yeah.
an 80s babies and the 90s raised me.
My attire is very 90s themed.
It is.
But I love 90s 2000s music regardless.
I just got an idea of an outfit. Okay, I might have to break out my sewing skills.
Ooh,
and make
get it, girl.
Take that fashion design degree to the actual use.
That's right. That's gonna do it for us.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
good.
I'm not on a lot of stuff.
I'm done.
so.
You're done. I'm Tim Schaus, TLS Entertainment, your premier wedding DJ with Brandy, Arlen, your non-retired, still alive wedding planner.
Peace and chicken grease.
Holla.